alternating sets of the Intensity Series Volume 4. Let me show you what those are all about. All right, guys and girls, I hope that everyone is enjoying this Intensity Series as I'm going through in detail each of the techniques that I use throughout all of the course of my exercise and training videos to really show you guys how to build the most amount of muscle tissue. Yes, I do want to touch on this real quick. I do love straight sets and top set and back off, but at the end of the day, like I've always loved intensity techniques. Why? Because it pumps my muscle up. And that's what really made me fall in love with bodybuilding. Not only growing bigger, but a pump is what I always loved chasing. No matter if I was 18 or I'm 40 now. So with this alternating sets, this is gonna look on the outside very similar to supersets, which we just posted last week. But what we're gonna do here is take two different exercises and do them back to back. But the difference here is the rest period in between. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a rope cable curl and then a hammer strength preacher curl. Both are hitting the bicep. If I was gonna do this for a superset, I would do that, immediately walk over and do my preacher curls. But with this, the alternating sets, I take anywhere between 30 seconds all the way up to 2 minutes between these two. And the premise of this is so that I'm going to exercise number 2 exhausted. So it's a really cool technique to thoroughly work the muscle through different ranges of motion, different areas we wanna focus or bias. And with this, for example, so the hammer curl I'm gonna start with, that's gonna get bicep, yes, but it's gonna get that brachialis, it's gonna get some forearm. Then I'm gonna take a break and then go over there and do my preacher curl, which is gonna hit my bicep in isolation. So the reason for the longer break, as opposed to supersets done back to back, I would have to limit the load I would use on exercise number 2, where this way I'm using max load on both exercise 1 and 2, but I'm not doing them like 4 sets here and then 4 sets of the preacher curl. So it's a great way to really fill the muscle up with a ton of blood, but not limit the weight that I'm using on either of the exercises. So now with this, you'll have to fight every urge to go. Because you'll want to think, oh, it's a superset, I gotta keep the intensity. But the difference here is, again, if I was doing this for straight working sets, I wouldn't have to limit the load of this preacher curl, where if I could typically do with that, the open exercise, I could go maximum weight, but then I would have to come over here and limit this load. So this is the great thing about alternating sets. And again, I'm gonna wait a minute here because for arms, I do a minute rest period. And there you have it, guys. That's the example 1 of what the first round might look like. So again, with the alternating sets, what I'm thinking about here is choose 2 exercises that really get the muscle full of blood. With me today, the biceps, again, I'm gonna do something that's gonna get the brachialis here, still gonna get some bicep and a little bit of forearm, and then with this preacher curl, I'm getting both the long head and the short head of this bicep in isolation. So with this, I'm fully getting the bicep and the upper arm taxed with 2 different curl variations. Some other examples of things that work really, really well. I love doing leg extensions to hack squat. I love going leg press to hack squat. I love going hack squat to belt squat. All of those work really, really well. They're very challenging. I like doing 2 different row variations. So like one for my lats and then one for my upper back. So let's say I'm gonna do like laying face down, pronated or semi-pronated rows for my upper back and then immediately going into like a DY low row. So with that, what I'm thinking about here is I'm getting upper back to lats, and you're talking about a serious pump. Like, it's incredible. Now, you can also do this for antagonistic muscle groups. You can do this for biceps and triceps. This is great, in my opinion, for hamstrings and quads. You can do it for calf and tibialis, all great ways to do that. Now, I wouldn't do chest and back. Those just don't seem like a really appropriate muscle group to do. Another thing that I've really done, I can't remember if we ever got this on film, but I like going back and forth between reverse pec deck and dips. So I'll come off a full chest workout, and then I'll go over and start into my shoulders like you guys know I love to do, but I'll do alternating sets of reverse pec deck and then dips for my lower chest. Now with dips, I'm also getting a little bit of shoulder in there, I'm getting a little bit of tricep, and I'm finishing my chest off. So different ways that we can do alternating sets to really get a cool pump and add some freshness to your workouts, right? So all these intensity techniques keep me mentally stimulated. It destroys my muscle tissue, and at the end of the day, it gives me a better pump, which I know in my heart leads to more muscle growth. So until next time, guys, like, share, subscribe. I don't know what intensity technique will be next. Maybe giant sets. One of my all-time crazy hard things I've ever done in bodybuilding. Thanks, guys.